Welcome back, subscribers, and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion we're off to Croatia in Europe, in a town called Rovinj. Now Rovinj, if you look at the spelling, has a silent J. Now this trip and this series that I'm about to do, and there are quite a number of towns we will be visiting throughout Croatia, is basically a bonding session for my son and I. He's come of age, he's just about to turn 18, and this is sort of our last chance as a father and son to bond before he starts spending more time with his friends, and hopefully he'll find a partner, and the relationship of parent-son takes a new turn, hopefully for the better. So anyway, we are off to a town called Rovinj, and it is once again in Croatia, and there will be a lot of what would you call it, aerial footage with our drones, but this is our first town, and I'll give you a brief history of what we've seen with every town we visit. And yes, I do have a very sore throat, and I don't believe I've got sort of the virus or anything. Unfortunately, I'm one of those guys who just talks too much, and when we're overseas, wherever I sat down at a coffee place or even at a restaurant, I couldn't help myself but start waffling on with the locals. A lot of these towns look a little bit similar, but they definitely aren't, and they all have a wonderful history and a lot to offer a tourist who might be visiting these places. So without further ado, I'll start off with a bit of history and we'll take it from there. Rovinj is a city in Croatia, and it's situated on the North Adriatic Sea with a population of over 14,500. It's located on the western coast of the Istrian Peninsula, and it is a popular tourist resort and an active fishing port. The town officially is bilingual, Croatian and Italian. The old town stands on a headland with houses tightly crowded down to the seafront. A tangle of cobbled streets leads to the hilltop church of St. Euphemia, whose towering steeple dominates the skyline. South of the town is Lone Bay, one of the area's pebble beaches, and Rovinj's archipelago, 14 islands, lie immediately off the mainland. The Church of St. Euphemia, often known as the Basilica of St. Euphemia, and by locals as the Church of St. Fuma, is a Baroque church located in the heart of the historic part of Rovinj, and sits on top of a hill with its tower overlooking all parts of the city. The main economic activity in Rovinj is tourism, and during peak season, which is May till September, its bars, restaurants and art galleries work long hours while operating limited hours off season. The centre of Rovinj, which includes the old town, is very walkable, and transportation by bike or scooter is a preferred means of getting around by many locals. However, the preferred means of transport of getting around Rovinj is by car, but parking can be difficult during peak tourist seasons. Croatia is part of the European Union and use their own currency. However, in January 2023, they intend to introduce the euro, and their kuna currency will be phased out over time. Now, just as a quick heads up, and this will apply to everywhere we visit throughout Croatia, English is their second language. Most of the people that you come across in the hospitality and the sort of restaurant scene, that includes waiters and whatnot, they all speak English quite fluently, well enough for you to communicate with them with what you want to eat or drink. Also, the menus are also written in English, so if their English is limited and your Croatian is non-existent, but lucky for us, I think it's called Hrvatski or Croatian, is pretty good, surprisingly. So I was a bit surprised that the more I heard it, the more I could sort of pick it up, and these were just basic skills I was taught as a small child by my parents, and obviously it stayed with me. And yeah, so I was pretty lucky, and my son was quite surprised how during the course of our holiday my Croatian just got better and better and better. But once again, there's no need to have a worry at all. English is spoken throughout the whole country, and you'll be able to communicate pretty much with everyone, especially the younger generation. Now, as we started to walk around, we did straight away notice that a lot of the cobblestones are extremely smooth. And I kept wondering that during sort of the winter periods when things are sort of wet and icy, that it could be extremely slippery underfoot, but I could be totally wrong with that. But the cobblestones really do have a nice shine to them. And also you'll find that as you walk around the old city like we are now, as you can see, there's a lot of little sort of, I don't even know what you'd call them, there's just like an open section between houses where it becomes like a little restaurant or a little cafe, and then you might just walk around and come into an opening where there's a little market. There's no sort of real direction towards these places, but I do understand with history that a lot of the towns in Europe deliberately made themselves quite difficult to navigate, to make it difficult for invading armies. Now, I don't know how true that is, but on this occasion in Rovinj, you can get lost really quick, but there are a lot of maps. There's a lot of tourist shops that offer these maps, and we grabbed one, and once you look at the map, it does look like a bit of a mouse maze, but quite easy to navigate, not a drama. And once again, also in all the towns you'll come across, you have to be relatively able-bodied, I think is the best word. There are a lot of hills, and throughout Europe, and especially also in Croatia, you'll find that the churches and all that sort of stuff are always on top of a hill, which means there's a bit of climbing and walking that's involved with a lot of stairs. But it's all worth it if you make the effort, and there are sometimes alternative ways to get up there with, they look like small golf buggies that you can pay a small fee for, or alternatively, if you've got good balance, you jump on one of those electric scooters that we have in Melbourne as well, and they're probably one of the best ways to commute around. But anyway, we'll continue on, and here we have the aerial view, and on this occasion my son's the pilot, and I think he does a terrific job, so please enjoy. So here we are nearing the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I think we'll call this part 1. There will be quite a number of parts, as we did take a lot of footage both with the handheld camera and also via drone. By all means, hit that like key or that thumbs up button if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe. Subscribe, it doesn't cost you 1 cent and it helps this channel immensely. But most importantly, stay safe, commute safe, and have a great day. And once again, I do apologise for the croakiness of my voice, and hopefully my voice will improve as days go on, and the next video my throat will clear.